are listening to the Super Live Adventure Podcast. I am Chris Sorrentino.
I'm John Saluga, and with us today...
It's Sal Vulcano?
Hey!
I don't know if I was supposed to scream that.
Yeah, you
can.
Wait, have you been doing that? That wasn't in the beginning. You didn't do that. How long?
No.
You've been doing that for how long now? Probably watched it for like 7 years. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, you were on like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I was on more than once, I think.
Yeah. One time?
Was it only one time?
One time?
Because I remember it. It was fun. It was live.
It was live.
It was
But I wasn't on a not live one as well.
No.
No. Just,
Wow.
Just that
well,
one.
it feels like yesterday, fellas. I remember because here's what I remember. I remember that I think I told a story or we talked about something that I normally don't talk about. And I don't mean in a way like I revealed something. I just mean like a good story that I think that you always forget. You ever remember a story like, oh shit, I haven't told that or thought about that in so long. I thought that was like kind of something. I always associated it to that first one, but maybe who knows, maybe it was nothing.
Yeah,
I haven't listened in a long time, but I remember like the frozen goldfish story.
Oh, maybe that was one. Yeah, I still have that.
No way.
Did I have the frozen goldfish then?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in my freezer right this
It
second.
still is?
Right there.
Holy
I actually
shit.
opened it for the first time and only time ever last 2 years ago when I started my podcast. I had told the story to them and then I was like, let's just open it. And I opened it live on camera.
No way.
Yeah, for those,
Yeah,
if you didn't catch my first
You didn't
episode,
listen 10 years ago.
Long gone.
episode 4. No, my goldfish I had for like 6 or 7 years died, and I felt bad to flush them, and I was gonna bury them in the yard, but then I thought it would smell because it wasn't my home. It was I was the tenant, and so I put them in the freezer for a later date, I guess, and then it never came. And I have that right now in my freezer. I have that frozen fish, and I opened it, and it was very sad. The eyes were kind of like gone. In a way, like
Yeah,
kind of gone,
It's an
but
experiment
the
now.
body was there.
Okay.
But it was like maybe like 10% of the gold that he was.
Oh.
It was like it kind of like faded a little bit, like
Yeah.
half the gold. It was a
Oh.
goldfish.
That's really fucking weird.
It was very sad, and then I just didn't understand really what was going on in my life. Like was I supposed to keep that in there, or do I just throw it away now? What am I really doing?
You've
Yeah.
moved with this. That's what's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like this is you
Yeah,
put
I
this in a cooler
Yeah,
to move it to a new house and put it in
Yeah, I
another
moved it.
freezer.
I moved it with the food.
Wow.
Yeah, I moved
You
it.
gotta.
Yeah, I moved it, and I moved it maybe twice.
It's coming
No,
on.
definitely
coming along
one-
on some adventures.
Let me think of my house. No, oh man, yeah, I moved it twice.
Nice.
Yeah, I moved it twice. Yeah.
And you won't flush it because that was
At
growing
this
up, we-
point-
Why would you?
At this point, I'm not really sure what's going on.
It's got to be buried with you.
Yeah.
When you
with
go.
you.
Yeah.
That's
You
one
got
of
to shove him in a freezer with it.
one of the reasons.
He lost his color 10 years later.
His eyes look weird.
Yeah.
One of the reasons, kind of maybe, but probably not, that I was holding on to it, and I think I'm just holding on to it because I have issues. But like, was that I was gonna do like a funeral for him.
Oh.
First for real, then for fun,
Yeah.
and then a ticketed event
Absolutely should.
for the podcast.
Gold tie event.
Yeah, so we were going to do a whole ceremony with speakers and everything, and
Holy shit.
people sent me fish coffins in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have fish coffins,
Good for you.
and
Good for you. I have fish coffins, plural.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I have a wooden and a plastic one. The plastic one has a picture of a fish on it, and I have both because I'm not really sure which one I want to lay him to rest in.
Sure.
But no, at this point, I really don't know. I do want to do that, and I haven't written a bit about it yet. But at this point, I don't know. I just feel like after all that, why would I throw him out now?
Yeah. I
no.
like an event.
Like, shouldn't I have him when I'm like 80 and be like, this fish died 55 years ago? like, right? Like, what is the end point here? I don't know. Or I could bequeath him to someone after I pass,
That's true,
I
too.
like the idea of an
as the
event.
bells go off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right
that's
next
a
to the
sign.
church.
To sign from the bells.
Yeah, right?
I like an event too. I like an
I
event.
do like I get the sentimentality. You don't want to let go of it, but if you do it in one big swoop, one big event, I think that's
Yeah,
I'm with
yeah,
him.
yeah.
a defrosting.
This is ominous. The bell tolls for this guy.
Did you didn't freeze it in water, right? Like it's not.
No, it's wrapped in tinfoil. It's in the freezer in tinfoil. Yeah. Yeah, I'm I think in the next 2 years I'm gonna move. I think, and then I'll have a yard. Finally, I don't have one.
Yeah.
And I think that when I have my own property, I'll bury him or her. I don't even know if it's a girl or guy.
Who knows?
In my yard.
Okay.
This is a weird question. So if just say power went out and you knew you weren't gonna have a fridge up and running for several days,
I would have to make moves.
Yeah, would
I'd have to. You'd have to.
That would be a priority.
Even for hygiene or cleanliness. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Should that thing be rotting in with the rest of the food?
No. But I'm saying, but you wind up throwing so much shit out.
There's a fire. I grab my Don Rickles autograph picture off the wall and the fish. That's what I grabbed. How ridiculous and ironic is this? That this was the story I told on this podcast 10 years ago, and we're just doing it again. It's so funny.
We've come full circle.
I want to know that the long time listener who's like, oh come on, I heard this.
Heard this already.
The fucking goldfish.
Yeah. Sorry, Rob.
I had killed a fish prior to that I think left a scar with me because they used to always just croak those fish really easily. So when I was a kid, I didn't really understand that you need a filtration system and proper food. No one really did. And my parents, I don't think, bothered to even tell me. So used to throw a golf ball in a thing at a fair at school.
Yeah.
And they just come home with a bag of them, right? And they would just always die. And I remember at one point I was like, I can't keep having these things die. I feel bad. But I didn't understand what it would take to keep it alive. I thought it was just bubbles. Not air, bubbles. And so I came home, and my mom wasn't home yet from school, and I put it in a salad bowl with tap water.
Okay.
And I broke chunks of Wonder Bread for it to eat. And it would eat it and shoot it right back out. And then I was like, it needs bubbles or it's going to die. So for 3 hours... until my mom got home from work, I got a straw and just blew into the salad bowl, blowing CO2 into this fish. And then by the next day or that night, the fish died, and I was like, I gave it water, food, and bubbles. Meanwhile, I gave it tap water, bread, and CO2. I literally was murdering the fish in slowly.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and it stuck with me. And I thought it was because I named him. I named him Harry. I remember this. And every fish I got, I named.
I swear to God, I had a fish named Harry.
No way.
I swear to God, I had a goldfish named Harry as a
Fish
kid.
named Harry?
Yeah.
Sequel to Wanda.
I did. I think after I had an Uncle Harry and a cousin Harry, and it was just that I liked the name.
fish.
My mom tried to talk me out of it. No, you can't name the fish Harry.
There's too many Harrys. I'll get confused.
Yeah, I had a fish named Harry. Sorry.
No. I was just saying. My takeaway was that it dawned on me that I've named every fish and they die immediately. So then when I got the fish that's in my freezer, I was like, I'm not going to give him a name. And so for the 6-7 years I had the fish, I just called it Fish. And he lived 7 years. Well, I did have a proper setup for him, though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one of the way I murdered another fish.
Oh, Jesus.
I got some buddies for him over the years. He outlasted all of them.
Okay.
But I got various fish that were allowed to be in there. And those Japanese... Well, it's I don't know. It's like a prison yard. Some of them you can't have together.
Yeah.
Or they get know. And I got a Japanese fighting fish. Now those you can't have two of those.
Can't have those are in the. So when you walk in the pet store, they have those separate in their bowls.
They're separate, like they're in prison.
Yeah, they really are. They're in solitary. They
can't trust them.
Yeah.
They'll all just start shivving each other. So I
put them in bottles.
It was a lot. So I got the fish, and then I when I used to have to clean it. And you guys, if you know, have your fish tank, you take the fish and some of the water that's in the tank, put it in another thing, clean the tank. I use the vinegar or whatever, clean the rocks, I put it back in. Then I put the chemicals in, test the water and all that stuff. So I did all that, and I put the fish back in, like the handful of fish, and then I put everything back in. And then I was looking, and I didn't see the Japanese blue. It was Japanese fighting fish. The other fish was in there. I didn't see the Japanese fighting fish. I'm like, how is this even feasible? Where is this thing? And then I lifted the cave that I got, and I had crushed him under the cave when I put the cave into the rocks.
Oh.
There was a treasure chest with a cave, and he just like floated out from that. And I was like, I cannot believe I just did that.
Wow.
I crushed him. I carry right now sadness.
Yeah.
Like I just feel sad about it. Like upset maybe.
I get it. I would too.
I murdered a living being that was perfectly fine that I was supposed to take care of.
Nah, you know what?
Did you?
If you were in that tank with him,
Murdered?
he would have tried to fight you.
Manslaughtered. Manslaughtered.
Fish slaughter.
I manslaughtered him. Yeah.
He would have tried to fight. If you were fish sized
Yeah.
and you were in there with him, he would have tried to kill you.
Yeah, but now we're making like qualifiers.
Yeah,
I'm not a
can't.
fish.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to make you feel better,
I
so.
manslaughtered that thing.
Did you give him a proper burial?
He's in the
I don't-
freezer.
Why did
He's
he
in
get
the
the freezer
freezer
treatment?
You know, it just dawned on me. I've only saved one fish. So I guess the rest would just.
No attachment.
Fuck 'em.
I always thought flushing them was wrong. You know,
Oh,
as a
yeah.
kid, my mom would do it, and then I was like, "This is not right."
It's where you shit. Like, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
My mother
And
made
where's
a
he
thing.
going?
My mother made it like it was going back out to
Yes,
sea.
yes, correct.
That's what it was. Where
Correct.
they belong in the ocean with all the other.
You can't
goldfish.
believe
with
them.
my turds.
Yeah.
The fucking-
It's going out to sea. Like he's
Yeah.
gonna shoot out dead, and then like his friends will get him, and they'll give him the proper service.
yeah,
yeah.
No.
Turd ocean.
You can't believe your parents did anything. I'm starting to realize now, when I reflect, when I was little, that they said anything they wanted, despite any repercussions it would have.
Yeah.
Like my
They make
parents
up
used
a
to say
lot
when
of
we wouldn't eat, my dad, especially my parents would be like, "If you don't eat, we're taking you to the hospital tonight to get a needle."
Yeah.
Like, because you're not getting your nutrients, so we had to take you to the hospital to get a needle. And we bought that for the bit, like, until I was old enough to know that it wasn't. I thought that,
That's
and so I would just
wild.
keep eating because I didn't want to get this needle. That's a form of terrorism.
Yeah, I'm a dad. I could never imagine.
I don't think they
telling
thought
my kid
anything
that.
of it, but when I think back, I'm like, you're instilling some irrational fear in me, and also changing my relationship with food.
Yes,
You know what I
and
mean?
with needles.
And
You're making needles
needles.
even
Hospitals.
Yes,
Using hospitals as a threat, because I think parents will do that of like, oh, we need to go to the hospital. We need to go.
more. Yeah.
Your kid at some point is going to have to go to the hospital. You don't want to establish this like it's a bad place to
No.
go. It's a pun.
Right.
You got to be like they help you. and
right. Like, what about when I have to get blood drawn or like whatever? I'm just like, nah. you know,
Yeah, no, this is where
No,
you're not
you
supposed
can't.
to go.
My dad said the most fucked up thing with trying to get my brother to eat fish. Did I ever tell you this?
No.
We were kids.
yeah.
My father said to my brother at the dinner table, "Eat it; it'll make your dick fat."
Dude, if
To
you-
my brother.
if you were to give me until eternity
To
guess
he
what your
said.
father said to him, that would have never come out in
Well,
eternity.
I guess you never met my father.
Never
Yeah.
come out. It's so, and also I love fat instead of big.
Fat
It's
instead of
Yeah.
big.
crazy.
So wait, does your brother have a fat dick?
No.
Your brother's like, yeah, he just drops trout. He's like, guess how much fish I ate, bro?
Fattest dick in the sea.
No, me and my brother had that response of
It's
like,
on his like online profiles. It just says, just FYI, I've eaten a lot of fish my whole life. To the lucky gal out there.
like it's known. It's like,
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
no, he didn't. We were young where. I think the thought of even having a big penis wasn't even. It wasn't
Right.
even a thought.
It was
or
like,
a
why? He's
desire.
like, why do I need
So to say
that?
Yeah,
fat,
he
my
put
brother
that
had
in
this
his
look of like that didn't sell my
So-
brother on the fish.
Yeah, like to him, fat isn't probably not like you don't want to be like fat. You know, like
don't wanna
the kid,
fat
someone
dick
might make fun of me or whatever.
Doesn't
You
want
know?
a fat dick
You
in
don't want
his
to be
pants.
chub cock as a kid.
There were so many other things that he could have said that would have motivated him better.
Yeah.
Like it'll make you grow up faster, or like it's healthy for you, or like I don't know anything.
It'll
but
make you
that.
smarter. It'll it'll make you run faster. Anything other than it'll make your dick
It'll make you
fat.
dick fat. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Unreal. My mother was not at the dinner. This is
Did she know
this
that?
is after the divorce.
Does she know that to this day?
I mean, I don't know if I told her that particular. My father, it's been a lifetime of inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, that's a core memory.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that stuck with you.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, here we are, like 30 years later, and you remembered it. Think about how many memories you have. I think about this all the time. I always try to uncover my newest, longest, oldest memory.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I have what I
yeah.
think it is,
Yeah.
and and I have like I'd say in the ages of 3 to 4, I have a handful, and I'm always trying to uncover. But like, if you think about it, like, I don't know how old you are, but like, that's got to be one of your own. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, like,
Yeah, it was maybe we were probably like 9 and 10.
you'd be surprised with how much you think you remember, but less necessarily don't remember.
Well, you know what it is? It's
Yeah.
like you
We
live
don't have
a day-to-day
video.
life. You don't remember everything. You don't
Yeah.
remember what you did that Thursday in school when you were that age. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But
Memories
you
of-
remember that.
Memory's a funny thing too, and my brother will remember things, but we'll get into arguments over who it happened to. So I'll
Okay.
remember it as like,
Oh, sure.
Dad said whatever to me, and he'll be like, no, that was me.
Yeah, that
and
happens.
there's no,
You're right.
you can't prove
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
That's the problem, too, with like family stories being told over and over again.
Yeah,
Like-
they take new light, they take little tweaks, and then they keep changing.
Yeah.
I wonder sometimes,
game.
do I remember the moment? Do I remember the story? Do I remember the photograph?
This shit,
of
I
it?
swear I was
Correct.
there for, that I
Right.
wasn't there.
And you don't know,
Yeah.
and we can't tell. Our brain does that. They make the memory. I read this one time. When you access a memory, you're not accessing a lot of times the event, or rather, you're accessing the last memory you have of that event.
Interesting.
And so,
Oh,
even in your
yeah.
own telling over time, it could change if you don't recall it. Like there's human error. Like, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
had
wild.
never been able to meditate or anything. I can't quite.
tried.
I can't quite.
I even took
my
classes.
fucking brain. But the one time I felt like it happened, something close to that. I was in bed and I was like falling asleep. I don't think I was like fully asleep, but sort of in like a dream state. And I imagined the house I grew up in as a kid, and I was going through the house, but dude, I was at like floor level. So I was like, I'd be in my kitchen, but I'm looking up and I'm seeing the bottom of the kitchen cabinets, and I'm looking underneath the couch. It's like toddler memories
Okay. Oh, wow.
of my first house.
How do you unlock that?
Wow.
I
I
would love
don't
to, like,
know.
Somebody tell me how.
It was the
to tap into
it was
that,
insane, dude. I woke up crying. I went through my house and then my grandmother's house the same way,
Really?
but everything
You
was
got
like,
2 houses. I got nothing.
dude. I woke. I
What
got
are
like,
you doing?
I got emotional from it. I swear to God, I woke up like teary eyed because
Yeah.
it felt so.
We have
real.
unaccessed memories for
You
sure.
have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
It must be something. You know what's crazy? I was just talking about this with someone. So this is the first generation of kids, like this last, maybe 10 years,
Mhm.
is the first generation of kids that have been documented in this way. Like my
Social
dad has like 5
media,
pictures of himself.
Yeah.
I have 200 pictures of myself. Maybe.
Yeah.
One, if someone has it, I don't. Maybe one home video. We didn't have a camera, but I remember someone took one once, and I remember seeing it of when I was young, but I haven't seen it in forever. So maybe no video. If you want,
Okay.
there's the kids now, like they will have so much documented. They'll have tens of thousands of photos,
Yeah.
and hundreds or if not thousands of hours of cumulative video,
Yeah.
and they will be able to reflect and remember things completely accurately
Yeah.
because they're going to see it in 4K.
Exactly. And also like detailed life events through social media. People posting like my kid's graduation, my kid's this, a
Right.
birthday, it's this and that. Like there's like it's almost like a diary being kept. Like,
Yes.
there's so much shit lost to time in my life because both of my parents are dead and I'm an only child
Wow.
that there's stuff I will never
I
fucking
know.
get back and never know.
I know.
Where I look at like even if I drop dead tomorrow, like kids could go on my Facebook and see their whole life.
Right.
You can listen
Right.
to this podcast and hear their whole
10 years
life.
Right.
It's
of
wild. It's
Right,
weird.
even this kind of document, like even me, like they get to see me for 10 years doing a pod or television or whatever.
yeah.
And the other crazy thing is like, you know how like your uncle or dad or grandfather or anybody would tell a story. It's like one of their famous stories you've heard, right?
yeah.
And you realize now, like, your memory of their story is only what you envision in your head. So let's say your dad told you a story, right? And to this day he knows it, and to this day you know it. So you both know the same story, but he has the factual, like he has the imagery in his head of it for real, and you have
Yeah.
your conjured imagery of
You
it.
have the dramatization.
Right.
video
That you're
of it.
remembering the same thing.
Yeah.
But like, for example, like, oh, the day you were born, whatever, this happened, right? But like nowadays, like you videotape your kid getting born, and when you tell them the memory, they get to access the same visual as you. So it's no longer they're conjuring the imagery of it. Like there's so much documentation that you'll be able to share a specific memory exactly the same together, which I don't think that's ever really happened before.
No, because exactly like you're saying, like, you know, your mom, your dad can tell you about the day you were born. They remember the doctor that delivered you.
Right.
You don't fucking know this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you have this image in your head of the doctor who delivered you.
Yeah.
But now, there's like definitive, actual.
It's
proof.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Freak out.
I know. You know, these are the things I spiral down to when I smoke weed every single night to distract me from the other things that are bothering me.
Yeah. Preaching to the choir.
You and me both. You came to weed late.
Oh, yeah. I
'cause
started in late 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even 5 years in.
Yeah, I'm more than that, but still not. It wasn't a thing in my 20s.
No, I never. Prior to like them selling it in stores, I never bought it. I never rolled it. I never had it. I never had it on my person. Like, it was always just like, if I ever smoked, like, let's say before 2018, let's say in my entire life, I smoked under 10 times. Like, someone passed
like
a joint at a concert.
or something.
Or that my friend had a bong one time, and it was like the second time I ever smoked. That was bad news. I didn't know. So the first time I ever smoked, it didn't take. I thought, actually, it may have been the same night. I was in the park, Clove Lakes Park.
Okay.
And someone had like a blunt or whatever, and they passed it around, and I took a puff, and like, it didn't hit me immediately. And so then I think, unless this was a night, I might be conflating something, but the time I do remember, I went to my friend's house. He had one of those cool moms that didn't care. Like, his room was the attic.
Everyone's got that friend with the cool mom and the attic room. That's awesome.
His room was the attic, and it had like black light.
Yeah.
And he smoked weed. His mom didn't care. And I went up there for a minute, and we smoked, and I took in a huge 6-foot bong hit. Like my second time ever smoking. I don't think I ever felt high before in my life. I blew it out, and then I was like, gotta go. I was like, all right, I gotta go. Like, I didn't understand that I was about to be very high, how high I was going to get, how fast. And so I left. And then I got in my car. It was a brown Plymouth Reliant K car. You know those driver's ed cars?
Yeah.
I got in my car.
Mine was a Dodge Spirit.
I started to drive away, and I was on Howard Avenue, and I got down to like, I guess that's Clove Road right there, or where Miggy's is, you know? By like St. Wagner and St. John.
Yeah.
So I was at Miggy's. I drove, and I was at the light, and it literally took over my whole body. My whole body started to tingle and get numb. And then I remember looking at my hands on the wheel. Not that you what do you call that? Hallucinate when you take weed, but like, it was the first thing I ever did, and it was a 6-foot hit. And so my hands, like, I was looking at them like they weren't mine. Like, I couldn't feel them, and they were so tingly and they felt big. I was like looking at them. And then I was like, I can't feel my feet or anything. And I was like, I don't know what to do right now. And I was the first car at the light. And I look into my rear view, and there's a cop car behind me.
Oh!
And I'm like, I can't feel my foot to understand how much I'm even going to push on this pedal right now. And I was like, I'm going to get... Do you understand, to be alone after a 6-foot bong hit, that's your first one ever? And I just didn't know what to do. I had the wherewithal to turn my blinker, and I turned left onto Howard Avenue at the foot of it.
Okay.
At the foot of it. And I just, right there, I turned and parked right there. Like, there was like woods, and I parked like 20 feet up from Howard Avenue. And the cop went straight, and I shut the car off, and I was like, I can't drive. So now I'm sitting in the car, and it's nighttime. It's like, it's probably like 10, 11, 12. It's night. There's not a lot of cars around at all. So it must have been pretty late. And I'm just like, I'll wait this out. I also don't know how long this is going to take. And I also don't really know. This is a new feeling. I don't even know what's really going on, really. And I was completely positive that a murderer was going to come out of the woods and kill me. So I locked all the doors, but I was like, he's going to smash the window. I'm going to die here. So I was like, you either drive and do your best, or you're going to die. And so I waited till it was a fever pitch of fright. And then I held out as long as I could. And then I somehow managed to drive about 5 more minutes to my girlfriend at the time's house.
Okay.
And I was afraid to even tell her what I did. And I got out of the car and I rang the bell, and her brother opened the door and then called her, and she came down and she just looked at me and she goes, "What's the matter with you?" She goes, your eyes are bloodshot. And I just went, "I'm so tired." And I guess we were both kind of green to it because I had all the symptoms, like running a checklist, and she didn't even catch on. Because then I was like, "Do you have food?" And then she's like, "Yeah." And I remember I went in there, I made a heaping bowl of Cheerios, and I made like 2 bagels.
Yeah.
And I just pounded them, and I was just like, "I'm just really hungry and really tired." And I never told her. But yeah, so I never really did it. And then like when it started to get like, someone gave me a vape pen.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, this is the easiest you're going to make it for me, man. I don't need a lighter. I can smoke inside. I don't have to roll it. This thing's going to last me 6 months at the time."
Yeah.
And so that kind of was my gateway. Now I have thousands of dollars of weed in my house. I'm not even kidding, because my podcast got a weed sponsor, and they gave us like $700 credit each. And another friend, DeRosa, doesn't smoke, and so I bought $1,400 on credit of weed. But right before that, I had run out, and I had my friend mail me some from like, and I spent like $900, so I had like $2,300 worth of weed. I still have. I won't get through it. I'm giving it away and stuff. But we've come a long way. Do you ever stop just to knock your tolerance down?
Sure.
Yeah. One time I stopped for a few months, and the first joint I had again was like close enough to like the early days.
Yeah.
Where you're like I don't get that ever anymore. You know.
Yeah. I still don't like to do it socially, because sometimes that first hour after I smoke is not a fun hour.
Yeah.
I get anxious. I get paranoid.
It depends on the setting, truthfully, because my mind's already going there in general. Like I take medication, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm depressed, I have anxiety, that kind of thing. And so I have like this crazy, we're going to take a turn here, but I have like, fear of death, fear of if loved ones dying, my dad, like I have OCD. And so I get these loops of thoughts. So I already am dealing with shaking stuff like that off. And sometimes when when you're high, you have to like literally be like, "Oh my God, I'm going down this rabbit hole in my brain and I'm high and I have to stop this right now." Like,
yeah.
One other thing that happens besides that is it takes a certain amount of high, but it's happened to me a good 10 times at least. I can't believe, and I also feel like I've fully lost the ability to be a stand-up comic. I get super nervous, and like I'm like, I can't get on stage. I can't even. What am I even doing? Like, I don't know how to tell jokes. Like, I just lucked out. I'm gonna get on stage with my jokes. No one's gonna laugh. I have a show tomorrow night. I'm not a comic. I can't do this. I don't know what I was thinking. And I get freaked the fuck out. And then after it happened a few times, I know enough to be like, just put a pin in this, even if you feel it, because like you'll come down from it and you'll not feel it anymore. But it's a visceral, real feeling.
Yeah.
It's a panic. It's almost like a panic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like, what are you doing?
Have you ever performed high?
Twice by accident, both times, and I'll never do it again. I can't perform high at all.
I never have. Drinking's a different story.
Yeah, drunk is tough too. I like to have a little social drink or a very light buzz. Especially when I first started in comedy, I would have a couple of drinks, like a drink before, or take a drink up. We would have a couple of drinks because it would just, it'd take the edge off a little, and then I would be able to have a little bit more nerves, and just like take chances. But like,
yeah, I did it as almost like a rule. I had my kind of 2. I would drink scotch, and I would have 2 before I went up, and I used to try to time it. And that was, I've told you this before, it was the worst thing when you're about to go up and somebody be like, "Hey, Suluga, I know we said you were going to go up third. You mind? So-and-so's got to get out of here early." And they move you.
Yeah.
But they move you. And then, I had it down. There's a sweet spot.
Yeah.
And then there's a not so sweet spot.
Yeah.
You're trying to ride that. It's awful. That's why, doing it now, I go up sober now.
Yeah. The few times where, you drinking gets away from you and then you have to get up. And then that's only happened a few times too. I will not let it happen because I forget what I've said. I don't know if I said that bit already. Because sometimes when you do multiple spots in a night, it's already confusing.
Yeah,
and you're drunk and you literally are like, "Oh my God, I don't remember what my next bit was or the next line was, or did I just skip a part?" And you're thinking all this in your head.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to do too is slur.
Yeah, you get all sloppy. That's why
So,
I don't
Yeah.
try to perform drunk
But
anymore. But
the
I mean,
weed
yeah.
happened twice. One time I was at the stand, at the old stand, and we used to smoke weed in like this little back alley thing. And I wasn't on that night. I was just hanging out, and I smoked. And then after that, someone was like, "You want to go up?"
Sure.
No.
And I was like, "Oh shit, all right, I'll go up." And I like forgot that I smoked, and it wasn't when I was really, that I didn't have a tolerance. And I went up, and I felt like literally everyone was just they were just staring at me.
Yeah.
But I felt it in a different way.
Yeah.
Like they were staring at me, just like looking into my soul, like who is this person and what is he doing?
Yeah.
I was just like looking at everybody, and I was like,
Daggers.
oh, I don't like that. And then one other time before that, so do you know Siobhan? She's on my crew.
On the
know-
show,
you met Shay?
yeah, on the show,
Yeah.
on the show,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she's like a zen,
Yeah, she's
like a
cool.
master at the
Yeah,
weed.
yeah.
So one time we were filming, and we wrapped, and we had a production meeting afterward, and I forget where we were. It was like in Jersey maybe in Jersey City at like a waterfront restaurant or something. I don't know. And we're having this production meeting. We're all sitting around, like 10 people sitting in a circle, and we're like 30 minutes into this production meeting, and Q turns to me and he goes, "Where did you get that?" And I was eating apple pie. It was in a slice.
I
You know
know
when
this.
they put an individual slice of pie in like a plastic
Yeah.
that looks like a shape of a pie, like
Yeah,
a
of course. Yeah, a little
triangle.
square. Yeah.
Yeah.
like a
So
triangle,
that was on the table,
Yeah.
and I thought it was craft services. I had like 2 more bites of this goddamn pie, and Q goes, "Where'd you get that?" I was like, "The table." He goes, "That's weed. Shay brought that in. That's weed."
Oh.
And I go, "No, you're kidding me." He goes, "No, you just ate a whole weed slice of apple pie." And because he goes, "She gave them out earlier, and you weren't here, so we didn't realize to tell you that was that." And I turned to her and I was like, "How much milligrams is it?" And she's like, 100 milligrams.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Yeah, you
sure.
come in. Cleaning person's here.
And I was like, 5 milligrams would have had me on my ass.
Yeah.
So I was like, I literally got nervous. I asked him, I should go to the hospital. I got to the hospital because it didn't kick in yet, but I was like, I'm going to die. And so I didn't know what to do.
Go to sleep.
They immediately, I said, I have to go right now. They took a PA, they made a PA drive me all the way home.
I remember this.
Do you remember this?
I do, yeah.
They made a PA drive me all the way home.
We were
and I rushed
cracking
home.
up about this.
I rushed home because I didn't know what tsunami was about to hit me. And I get home and I'm feeling really high and I didn't know what to do and I didn't want to experience it. And so I told my girlfriend, I was like, I'm going to go to bed right now. I'm going to try to go to bed right now. I don't want this to happen. But I had a spot at Gotham Comedy Club that night. And I was like, I didn't want to cancel it. And I was like,
what was the time frame? Like how many hours did
we were
you
probably
have?
wrapped at I would say 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Maybe. And then I got home by 2 o'clock, let's call it. Maybe 3 o'clock. And my spot was at 9:30. And so I went right to bed and I told her I can't miss this spot. I was playing clubs that I hadn't played before. I didn't want to have a bad reputation.
Sure. Yeah,
I still don't. I actually, to this day, unless it's an emergency, I will never cancel a spot.
Right.
And so I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't cancel the spot. So I was like, I'm going to go to sleep and hopefully I sleep through this. And then I'll see what happens when I wake up. And I woke up at 8 o'clock and I was fucking high as shit still. And I said, I can't miss a spot. Can you drive me?
Oh,
And then she got me in the car high, drove me from an hour from there to there, got to Gotham.
Holy shit.
And I was still high waiting to go on. And this, I wasn't working with a lot of material. I only had maybe I think 15, 20 minutes of material at the time that I could do. And, I didn't know what to do. And so I got on stage and I just told them exactly what happened to start.
All right.
And then I told all my jokes.
That's great.
And they were, it's kind of like a cop out, but it was real. But they were so on board that it was anything I said, they would knee slapping.
You have to.
Because I was giggling a little bit. I was fucking shit up, but they loved it.
Yeah,
and so I got out unscathed, but those were the only 2 times, and I said never again. Yeah.
I've never gone up high.
Yeah.
I think if I ever was to do it, that would have to be the theme of the night. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it would have
Right,
to
because
be
then
like,
it gives you it's forgiveness.
whatever happens, happens, and it's just
It's
as long
encouraged.
As long
Everybody's
as you
in on the
know-
joke.
Yeah.
If you just get up there,
There are shows like that, you know.
There are.
Yeah, I've never done one, but there are shows like that.
Because otherwise, I'm up there just I get into that like they can tell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. It's funny I think I can say this. You talk about like Shay being like the expert. I mean, one time on set, Q caught I won't say who. A member of the crew was smoking weed.
Okay.
And Q like pulled him over and told him he couldn't do that. And the crew member was like, "Oh, but Shay." And Q was just like, "Yeah, Shay can. You can't."
Yeah.
It was so like
That's so
it was
funny.
just like she's earned that, and
Right.
Shay does her job, and I don't want to see you ever doing that again,
Yeah.
Shay. It's
Oh wait,
something-
can you
That's
mouth me
great.
who it is?
Oh,
Or can you?
Uh,
Do you not remember?
Just
No,
beep it
I
out.
do. Yeah, I'll tell you after. I'll tell you
Okay.
after. Yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty great.
Yeah. Shay's hysterical. She just literally reeks of weed 24/7.
Yeah, I was. I
She's
hung out with
amazing at her
the,
job.
Yeah. No, she doesn't affect her job.
At the pizza pusher.
Oh,
She was out for that.
We did that whole thing.
Oh,
We
I
went
never
out
did that. I always wanted
That was
to.
cool.
Dude,
yeah.
That I don't get the concept of it because you're eating more and more edibles and you're getting more and more munchies. When does it end?
It doesn't, and you're smoking a Godfather blunt. You're passing around a giant blunt, like one of those big fucking.
So everyone is, I mean,
Just you're toasted.
oblivious.
marijuana infused
Yeah.
pizza, garlic nuts.
Well,
It
the
was,
thing is like it
salad,
doesn't
it's in
kick
the
in.
dressing.
An edible like that's not going to kick in until you leave, right?
Well, I guess that's what the smoking. It kind of kicked in.
Because I
It
remember
was nice.
because I know when you leave there, you must be because by the time you have everything,
Yeah, then it all hits you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to do it. I want to do it.
It was great.
worked.
It feels shady as fuck.
Yeah, there
the
was-
whole thing is.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
it's like
no
totally
signage.
non-sanctioned.
Yeah, it's just like a black building on a black awning and a black doorway. And you just like
Yeah.
slip in a guy at the door. Like you gotta have a name.
The best though.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like
yeah,
so
yeah.
cool. you
Oh,
know?
dude, that's the way
Only
to do
like
it.
I was about to say only in New York,
Only
but I don't
in
know
New
where.
York.
You
But
know?
it feels very New York, like the
Yeah, it does
the
feel New
Wild West, like the legalization of it, but it's not all figured out now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like where it's at right now. It's very fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I'm out in
Yeah.
Jersey where there's just we got
Now you just go to a
dispensaries now.
store, yeah.
Yeah, there's one opening up like right near my house.
Amazing. Think about all the people
Weird.
who fucking went to jail for this.
I know, right? I
It's
was
so bad.
just thinking that. I went up. I did this whole Ghostbusters day and this Ghostbusters tour, and we went to all these. Started at the firehouse, and people got married there, and they had the
Oh,
cars,
yeah.
and they had this whole fucking thing. And then they did a walking tour where you jump on the train, you go
So
to different shooting spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ends at Central Park West, but like one of the spots was the library on 42nd Street. So as soon as we got off the fucking train there, I walk up to the street. And there's tables of people just selling weed. They have bud in jars, and you just tell them how much you want, and they just scoop it up and they package it. It's like on the. It's not even you have to go to a
Yeah,
store.
that's
It's a-
crazy
a
because
table on the
technically I think
street.
they could give them shit for that, right?
I think
would've
so.
thought,
Yeah.
but they
But
have
it's that they're that
wild.
bold with it now. It's like it's really not. It's decriminalized, but I still think I heard they were cracking down on the bodegas now.
Yeah,
because you can
yeah.
get it at any bodega.
You get it
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But I think they want to think of how much money they could have made if they just did this sooner.
Oh my god!
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, are they putting weed drug dealers out of business? Probably.
I know. That's what I'm
I-
thinking. Like, I talk to my people, and they're like, what it comes down to is because it's more expensive out of these dispensaries, and it's
Yeah.
more like a designer thing. It's like the difference between going out to eat every night versus cooking at home. You know,
Okay, I get
like,
that.
Yeah,
But-
like once a week you may order something, but like
right,
you're
right.
not ordering every night. So that's what your regular deal is.
Yeah, you're
for.
getting more value. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
years ago, but there was this report in like Colorado where they were like interviewing some like drug dealers, and they were just talking about there's still that thing of like beating the taxes on it, and so it still existed for that.
It exists,
and-
like I said, for like the everyday smoking, the day-to-day bullshit. But like, you can't beat some of the. I what the fuck? I bought like Mike Tyson weed at a
How was
dispensary. It was awesome. I had the pineapple Kush, I think.
Really?
Pineapple
So you
punch,
said
something like
Holyfield's
that, yeah.
in on it because at first it bothered me that he was selling it because like the logo is an ear with a bite taken out of it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
all
the
the
edibles.
packaging.
Yeah, the edibles. He has a little ears.
That's nuts.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, him and Holyfield went into the venture together.
No
it bugged
way.
me at first,
Yeah.
and then I found out they were both in on it, and I was like, well, I guess it's
Dude,
all
his
right.
weed is really
I've only
good.
heard about it, but is there any special thing with his weed, or is it just just Mike Tyson's weed.
Yeah, just Mike Tyson's weed.
Because I thought maybe I read Seth Rogen or someone. Maybe no, it was a female. I forget who. Maybe it was Chelsea Handler.
Maybe.
I thought I read where someone was putting money and effort into creating weed that did not make you hungry.
Oh,
And that's would be the first thing I would get, because honestly, if it wasn't for weed, I'd probably be about 40 pounds lighter.
Yeah, me too.
I lie to myself every time. I'm like, well, look, you could have one or the other. You could smoke the weed if you promise yourself you're not going to eat. Then you smoke the weed.
Yeah, go
but
for
if you
it.
can't
It's
not
hard, man.
eat, you have to stop smoking the weed.
It's
And I say this to
impossible.
myself nightly,
It's impossible.
and it's just it's just impossible.
Yeah.
My house, my
Yeah.
kids are 6 and 4. The pantry has all the little kids stuff, the
Oh, yeah.
fruit snacks and shit.
Yeah.
That's what you go, because I'm very good, and I can say this for a fact. Like when I didn't have kids, or like if things weren't in the house, I have that. There is self-control, but
Right.
once it's I'm good about not buying it. But once it's home,
Yeah.
and it's
The snacks are coming from inside the house.
dude, it's little bag, it's fruit snacks, it's little bags, it's the potato chips, it's all the stuff they take for like
Yeah.
school
Oh
lunch
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And
the
that's
kid
the kind of
snacks
thing
are the
where
best.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I'm creative. I'll take 2 granola bars and put like a chocolate bar in the middle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like
Absolutely.
I'm disgusting with my
Absolutely.
kids' snacks.
My favorite. Well, it's not really it's not really a weed. I've done it, but like I love taking like a boar's head ham, like shredded, like cut thin,
yeah.
and I like putting like a jalapeno like kettle chips, and then
Oh.
rolling them up inside and crunching them and like rolling them, and then eating them like almost like a finger food.
Oh,
That's such a kid, like a kid.
Yeah.
I still we'll do
Sounds
like the Elios. Do you guys say Elios or Elios? I always said Elios.
I say Elios.
I say
You say
Elios.
Yeah.
I say
I don't know what
Elios.
the right
God bless Elios too.
that.
How are they still around?
I don't know. I only recently found out they were, because we did a battle on. We talked about it on Taste Buds, but that pack, that like 9 slice 3 sheet pack. That was like, forget it. I mean, oh man, you throw that in. I would have that. That was in my house at all times.
It's in my house at all times
I'm gonna
now.
get that.
You
Yeah.
gotta get it. Yeah.
Oh, dude, make an Elios sandwich. You make 2 slices. You put like pepperoni, salami in the middle, and you make a sandwich out of it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
God.
I'll say Elios because I was outvoted. But so my brother, this is my brother's thing, and I got into it. Just potato chips, plain
Utz or Utz?
on top of the.
You say Utz or Utz?
I say Utz.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, potato chips just smashed into the top of it, and just eat it with like a potato chip crust on top of the
So
Elios.
good. I just saw in a gas station they had Reese's now has big cups with broken potato chips inside.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That
They
sounds
make 'em-
great.
It's like an inception of Reese's. They make a Reese's
Yes.
with the cereal inside, the Reese's Puffs.
Yes, I saw that too.
It's fucking
I had no
wild.
idea how many SKUs Reese's came out with recently.
Reese's went nuts.
There's like
Oreos went nuts.
There's
too.
like 30, and they bought Take 5. It's now Reese's Take 5.
Shit.
But where is it gonna go? Where's the ceiling?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Can't.
Like we're
There's
getting all
there's like
this-
Reese's cups in Reese's cups.
Yeah, like, it just doesn't stop. Like to me, it's like porn. It's like it drives me crazy. Like where I'm like, my boys are 12, 13. They have phones now. So
Yeah.
I'm like, porn now. It's
not just straightforward like
it's
we
just
watch
not
it.
fucking. Yeah, it's like
just
joking and
yeah,
like
it's
crazy
like a whole
shit.
culture, and that's how they're learning.
Yes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
where's the fucking?
You should be like,
ceiling?
just take this tape from 1979 first.
That's it.
and,
Yeah. Take my dad's tape.
It's like 2 people doing missionary with some jazz.
Yeah. Some good old regular fucking. I used to fuck this girl. She used to call it apple pie fucking. She just was like, I'm into apple pie fucking.
What does that
the
mean?
fuck? Just regular old American, just like
Oh, okay,
missionary,
Apple pie fuck.
regular,
All right.
not like the fucking stupid movie.
Oh, I thought she was like,
No,
here, take
yeah,
this.
yeah, fuck this. Fuck. No, but just like into straight up set. Like I'm not into anal. I'm not into this crazy shit. Just straight up fuck me. Like okay,
Right.
apple pie sex.
Yeah, I'll sign up. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I'm not saying none of that.
Even if you find that online, the title of the description is going to ruin it. It's always going to be like stepfather, and like no, like who?
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
How many guys are into that?
Yeah.
That everything's labeled. It's like a stepdad,
And then you
big
watch
thing.
and a stepdaughter.
you watch whatever the latest whatever fad is, and then it's like, and then that it gets old, and then they need to do something else, and it's just elevating now.
Yeah,
I swear to God, you just turn one on and just the first thing that happens, the lady gets punched in the face. You know, it's like, it's nuts. I'm like, well, I don't know who's participating in this.
Christine, my wife, she's not one to ever watch any of that. And there was one time she was like, what is it like? I was like, it's crazy. And she's like, show me. And I was like, all right, we just went to a porn site and pulled up a thing, and it was just a regular kind of standard. She was like, all right. And then it was like, let's see what's recommended next. And it was a close-up of a vagina, and this lady slowly pushed out a dog toy, like a squeaky dog toy. And she was like, what the fuck? And I was like, that's what it is. That's how it works. That's what's online.
Yeah.
She's horrified.
She's like, wow, that guy must have had a lot of fish.
But it literally went from, that was video number 2 online. Wow. You know what I mean? Just like, let's see what, you like that one?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's try it.
There's no ceiling. It just doesn't stop.
Terrible.
It just keeps getting Reese's and porn just keeps getting crazy.
Reese's and porn are out of control.
I don't even know when my kids get to that. I don't even know how to talk about any of it. Man. It was, for me, it was like the friend with the scrambled channel where you kind of saw stuff.
Exactly. It was like we found like discarded nudie mags in the woods.
Yeah.
Sure. We had a guy by us that had
stuck together.
We said the porn pit and the Staten Island landfill. A guy had a pit full of like old porn, and
it's like you had to go find it.
Yeah.
Well, now it's like you have to get them to avoid it.
Yeah. You know,
we used to have to go, and even later in life, when I was like 18, we used to drive to 3rd Avenue underneath the freaking BQE and go to some 24-hour place and go to the back and like, you know, be embarrassed and buy a tape for $70 and then all share it.
Now it's,
you know what I mean?
How much for? Imagine being a kid now, being 13
now it's
right
like,
now with a cell phone.
It's like, it's like it comes in like
Limitless.
It's like Apple News.
Yeah.
I've only been in a porn shop twice. It was on Staten Island, Nightcap.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Nightcap.
Yeah.
Is that still there?
Yeah.
Is it?
Wow.
So?
I
Yeah,
think I was in there once in my life. But...
First time I went was with him. We needed a dildo for a sketch, so we went in and we bought a dildo together. You remember? It was with the 6-inch.
We've all done that. I
plastic
did dildos
dog.
for sketches too. We had to go together.
Yeah.
We do this.
Yeah. We've all needed dildos.
We did
right. Sketches.
Well, this is the thing. So we do this sketch.
Comedy's rough.
we did a show with the cup, and at the end of the sketch, do you remember we threw the dildo out to somebody in the audience, and we got rid of it. Months go by. I'm doing a thing with Jay Miller. We need a dildo. I go back to Nightcap with him.
Fucking cheating on me.
And again. And I'm just like, oh yeah, we're doing another comedy thing. And they're like, yeah, shit.
Yeah, how many guys we didn't just buy the dildo. We bought the anal ring toss.
Oh, anal ring toss is beautiful, dude. It's a butt plug with like a stick coming off of it, and these yellow rings.
Amazing.
Yeah, somebody got anal ring toss that night.
So now for you, I'm just hoping that like, or you're just hoping, and I'm hoping like that the phone, like you can like limit stuff on the phone, like parental controls, and like kind of understand what they're doing, right? Can't you see? But here's the thing: is like this is the thing too. It's like not every parent is responsible, and then you're gonna have, you know, it's when I have kids, I'm nervous to even send them to school.
Yeah,
because like I know the parent I'm going to be to my child, and it's not like I'm going to keep them from things, but I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to raise a good person.
Yeah, and
there's too many people not raising good people, and then they sour your child.
Yeah, in our house. Screen time is limited. My kids do, like, they read, they do a lot of art, they play board games. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a limited thing on weekends and stuff. My son just finished kindergarten literally yesterday.
Wow.
Kindergarten. He came home from kindergarten one day. It was like halfway through the year. Dad, I learned some bad words. I was like, what are you talking about? He went, I know the F word, the S word, the D word, the P. Kindergarten.
No.
Kindergarten. And it's just, you do the best you can, and it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, it matters.
It's got to be a good foundation.
You got to make up for those lousy parents yourself. You got to do double work.
You start with a good foundation, and then they could kind of deflect some of it. Like,
do you feel like? But it's a never-ending worry, right? You're never going to be at peace. Like you're not like, you're going to worry forever, right?
Yeah,
it's a constant.
But I've learned to let go. Like
it's hard to let go, though.
My older guy, he's 13 and a half. He curses all fucking day, and I wish he didn't, but we have a very weird household where it's like there's really not much censorship, and there's not really like go to bed at this time. It's like, if you stay up all night, that's your problem tomorrow at school.
Right.
Then you learn to go to bed.
Right.
Like, we give you a lot of
Sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're really good kids. Like, my son just graduating 8th grade. He's at his old Aristotle Honor Society. He's
Wow.
3 years in this.
That's such a relief. It must feel so good.
Yeah, and it's the foundation. It's the foundation.
When do you think that starts?
Foundation.
When do you think that starts? The
Right off
building,
the bat.
the building blocks.
Right off the bat.
Infancy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Always.
So
being a good person,
they're
showing good
subconsciously absorbing
value.
behavior,
Yeah.
right?
They're gonna listen. The kids are always gonna copy,
or consciously,
everything
but
you
not.
do.
Obviously, before they're able to comprehend at a certain level, you're
Mhm.
saying they're still that base starts immediately. Then.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're always absorbing, no matter what you don't think they're absorbing. They're always absorbing. They're
Always.
sponges.
Yeah.
They're just mimicking you to learn how to live. That's all they're doing.
Right.
You're their life for like a certain period of time. There's no outside world. There's no friends. There's no. You're the god and master at that point. You know what I mean?
Right,
You're the
right.
entertainment. You're everything. So like you have to really, literally start from day one. That's
Wow.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
It's the greatest. Someone told me they described it as when you have a kid, it's a front row ticket to the greatest show on earth. I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool way to describe it.
That's pretty
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I love it.
Yeah. Also, the craziest show on earth.
Yeah.
It's so crazy
I mean, I'm
shit.
exhausted. My wife's alarm goes off at 5:30 every morning. So and I'm a light sleeper, so that wakes me up,
Sure.
and then the kids wake me up. So my son, he finished school yesterday. Last night he was like, "Dad, can I stay up late?" And I was like, "What?" He wanted to stay up 2 hours past his bedtime. I was like, "Okay, but that means you can sleep in, and I can sleep in 2 hours tomorrow. Like, you don't have to get up the normal time."
Okay.
He's like, "Okay, Dad." Stays up late, has a blast. He wakes up at the exact same time. He wakes up every morning, comes into my bed, and this is how he wakes me up. He goes, "Dad, time to get up." And he grabs my hand. And he starts shaking. He goes, "Wake up this hand." And he grabs my other. He goes, "Wake up this hand." And he's waking me up like one body part at a time. And it was so funny that he had me laughing, but it's like, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah,
all
man.
the goddamn time. But I love it, dude. I love it.
When you had how many do you have?
I have two boys.
So when you have the second child, is it? Do you have the? I guess not. I would say fear, but like that unknown is gone, right? You've done it once.
yeah.
Is the second birth and the second like bringing the baby home, that initial very early stage, does it play differently to you?
Yeah.
Or
Oh yeah.
it's just it's just more. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more laid back.
It's not like
Yeah.
I even
Yeah.
No, it's definitely more laid back. It's because
it kind of did a go round and
Yeah.
yeah.
if I tell you
this
this,
footing.
if I tell you the story of my oldest birth, we're going to be here for a while. I'm going to tell you every detail, what happened with the doctor, and then you're just like, "What about your second?" I'm like, no real, nothing to speak
Really?
of.
It
Yeah,
is kind of like that. Okay.
same thing happened with my sisters.
It's human nature, I guess. It's
Yeah.
like the body.
I was in high school when my sisters were born. There's a huge gap, and I have two sisters that I lived with who were babies when I was in high school. And same thing, my older sister Marianne talks about her, like, she's like, "Oh, what was like when I was born?" And I was like, "Oh, like Mom had to be induced. She went to the hospital for 24 hours, and then you just stopped, and they sent her home after inducing labor." It's this whole crazy story.
Whoa.
There was
Wow.
a measles outbreak in the hospital.
Oh wow.
You were only in the hospital. You were in the hospital for less than 24 hours when you came home.
That's
We had all these people in the house, and then my sister Julie, who was born 2 years after her, she's like, "What about me?" And me and my brother looked at each other like, "You were so cute." I think it's that, it's a bigger deal the first time you go
Yeah,
through
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and the second one, I always say when my wife went to the doctor after doing the home pregnancy test with my son, it was she took like 3 at-home tests.
Yeah.
And on the way, it was just like, "I'm not pregnant.
Yep.
I'm not pregnant.
Yep.
No way I'm pregnant." So she's just doubting it the whole time. And we were going there just to like see if this was real. With my daughter, my wife gets into the doctor's office and she just goes, "How many?" Like, how many? Because we were down for
whole litter.
We were cool with 2. But like,
And then what about like, okay, so the first one is your I mean, to your core, it's your world, your universe, like the greatest thing you ever did with your life, right?
Yeah,
There's
for
a
sure.
love that you opened up that you didn't feel before.
sure.
For sure.
Now, and you think, you probably think, how can I love anything this much? So when the second baby comes, but you do, right? You do
I
love
felt
it.
guilty.
Yeah.
I felt guilty.
Oh,
for
so this is
doing
interesting.
this to my first son.
Okay.
I was like,
how old different far apart?
they're 18 months apart.
Okay, so you only had
Polish twins, I call. My wife's Polish.
So you only had so you had 18 months solo
Yes.
with your firstborn.
Yeah, and then
that relationship and that dynamic is gone forever.
Yeah, 18 months, technically like 11 months without knowing. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Yeah, about,
Sure.
right?
Or 9.
Yeah, 9 months without knowing.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. Without knowing that this was
No one
even
wants you
gonna
to,
happen.
no one expects you to do numbers.
That's true, right? I'm not the math guy on this show.
Somebody listening.
So
with a notepad.
what were your feelings like, and how did you process them?
Dude,
How-
I legit,
Yeah.
I felt like shitty. I felt real shitty at first. I was like taking this like relationship we had
Changing
away
it.
from this guy.
Yeah.
It really fucked with me. I'm not
I can
going
imagine.
to lie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Plane writes itself when it happens and everything's great.
Okay.
But like that initial thought was like,
Yeah. I can
like,
see that.
I really
Yeah.
like fuck this guy. Like we had this whole
You have this thing.
I had this whole life planned out for us.
Oh man, now you can't do it.
Oh,
No.
this guy.
But and then when your second born comes,
yeah.
it's the same exact love, right?
Yeah.
And it's weird. You just have it for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like, you know.
Or I mean, would anyone admit if it's not the same exact love?
It's a little different. Well, because I'll say this in the
Yeah,
beginning.
sure.
In the beginning, and you know when a new baby comes home, especially if your wife is like breastfeeding and stuff, that's a tight bond. That's way more involved.
Yeah.
And if you have an older kid, you're the team for a while that stuff is going on, because it's kind of
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
well,
Right.
I can take him to the park while you know what I mean. So it's
Right.
in a way. I don't know if you went through this.
Oh,
I
it
feel
kind
like
of-
that bond, it's not only tight, it almost gets a little tighter.
Oh, that's interesting.
For
Yeah.
me,
Yeah, I could
That's
see
how
that.
it was. And then as that kid starts to kind of crawl around and take over the house more and everything, it wasn't an immediate thing for us. If anything, it was kind of like we were a team while mom
That makes sense.
Had the
'cause
baby.
My first guy, me and him have like such a crazy bond, and my second guy, him and my wife have such a crazy bond.
Interesting.
So that makes sense. I mean, we all love each other.
Like my
but
dad
there's,
wasn't
like,
around,
you
so
know.
me and my mom have a crazy bond, and my brother had a security blanket. That's how it works.
and a fat guy.
There's only so much love to go around.
How many years apart are your?
We were 15 months apart.
15
me and
okay,
my
so
brother.
both of you
Oh,
are-
well, me and my brother. I'm sorry. My kids are 2 years apart.
2 years.
2.5.
So is it? So I don't know about yours, maybe, but there's a thing where it's like they're young enough, they're close enough in age that your first son will
Yeah.
not remember life
He doesn't.
without a sibling.
Absolutely doesn't.
Which is
Yeah.
wild too.
Yeah.
So then they don't have to process that. It's just it's a crazy thing. You can't have a memory before your sibling.
My kid
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
My son can't really. He was 2.5, so he doesn't really remember life.
2.5. Me and my sister are 2.5 years apart.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I have a memory of without. I have individual memories that she's not in, but I don't remember living a life.
Yeah, the time.
with-
Yeah.
yeah.
My son has like a weird memory of like getting a toy from his grandmother in the hospital when my daughter was born, but fuzzy as any. And again, it's one of those things. Does he remember
Right.
the memory or
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. Yeah. But that's one of his earliest things.
I know my kid doesn't remember because when my second son was born, me and my first son, it was at the hospital, Staten Island North.
Mhm.
So we hung out at the boardwalk, and I bought a bunch of Taco Bell. The Taco Bell at the time that was on like Bay Street. Now
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
that's like closed down. I think
Yeah.
it became a Wendy's.
Okay.
They closed it for a long time, and I loaded him up with a ton of taco. Me and him just sat on the boardwalk.
It's open
eating
till
a
2
ton
a.m.
of
That
taco.
Wendy's.
What's up?
Just like no, it's open till 2 a.m. now.
Oh,
to know.
Wendy's is always good for that.
And he'll remember that, you think?
No, he doesn't, because I was like, oh, dude, let's grab some Taco Bell. He's like, I don't eat that. I never had Taco Bell. I was like, you had it when you were a baby, me and you. We were waiting for Mommy and Wyatt in the hospital, and we just sat there and we ate tacos till they dripped out of our asses. And he's like, I don't. No, that didn't happen. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, oh, he doesn't remember anything before that. Wow. And that's when this motherfucker was born. I was like, he definitely doesn't remember anything before Wyatt.
That motherfucker. What do you guys think about, just apropos of this, your Super Live Adventure podcast coming to an end now? Did you ever reflect, and you mentioned it earlier, about if they wanted to, your kids could listen to all 420 episodes, and like, does that in any way, shape, or form, like, does it make you give pause to what you may have said?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Sure. You're talking about a guy
words 10 years ago that I might have said.
Yeah.
Well, in the early days, like before kids, like blackout drunk in a bar, just running a microphone.
Yeah.
And even early on, without a plan, just kind of.
Will you let them listen if they want to?
I would.
Yeah.
I told you I have no censorship.
Yeah.
It's like you do it and at your own risk. There's no. Trust me, it comes in from every angle to be like a prude about it or anti it.
Right.
It puts you on the outs.
Right.
And so if you're just like, you're cool with it, and I trust you to be able to digest this and process it in a correct way, I got your back. And they've proven that. Like, we watch Scorsese movies and you hang out with, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, that's so interesting.
They accept that and they're cool with it. I think they're cool with me accepting them to have an adult experience like that, so they don't blow it. They respect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
could all be taken away.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I mean, this podcast is not for kids.
Right.
So the same rule applies. But also, if they were to seek it out on their own or something, I mean, everything that's out, we buried our first 300 behind like the Patreon.
Okay, so they're gonna have to pay a small fee.
That's the problem. So they gotta sign up. Yeah. They gotta give us $5.
Just put up a paywall, and all your stress will go away.
Yeah,
when they're ready. Everything after that's not as bad. But the other thing I
would recommend them being adults first.
The thing I always felt with movies and television and stuff is that I think the wrong way to do it is to have the TV on all the time and your kids watch what they watch, and they're just in the room doing that.
Right.
What I believe is that you should co-watch as much as possible, and every show, either during it or after it, there should be a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that changes things too, where it's like, hey, if you want, like, because my son just watched the original Star Wars trilogy. You know, he's 6 years old. There's some heavy stuff. People, limbs are being severed. People are dying and stuff. But to be able to just like watch it and then talk about it is everything.
Sure.
I'd be afraid of him going and listening in a vacuum to me 10 years ago, doing things just to try to be funny and drinking and everything, where it's just to kind of, it's a weird thing to explain. And
at that time.
Yeah.
No, and it's also, it's like stand-up or anything else. Like, it's you, but it's sort of it's a character. Like, it's a character. You're
playing it up, and you're looking for laughs.
You want to make sure there's an understanding of what is actually happening. This isn't a microphone hidden in a room where I'm having a conversation with my friend Chris.
Sure.
This is like
you're performing.
Yeah.
But
it terrifies me. All of it.
Yeah.
I have no stand-up online. You can't find any of it.
Wow.
And it's tricky. And part of that is also, I always did a lot of storytelling.
Yeah.
My mom is on Instagram. My father is on Twitter. Like, it's these people are still alive that I'm like doing material about.
Right.
And it's this like, it's always a tricky thing, man.
Yeah.
It's always tricky. I'm trying to steer away from that more.
Hey, I have one caveat to the no censorship thing. I was at like a weird like horror movie convention, and there was guys selling like bootleg DVDs, and I picked up the complete series of the old Howard Stern Channel 9 show.
Oh, sure. WWR.
Yeah. WWR. Yeah. And my wife was like, the Secaucus. Yeah. My wife was like, no, you're not watching that with them. That was, she shut that down.
Yeah. That's when Snapple was a big,
that was this dude, that like second, I was telling him, I was like, texting him, like, I'm watching the Stern Show, the second episode. He's like, giving Snapple to a monkey. He has a organ grinder with a monkey.
I remember those. That guy trying to blow smoke out of his eyes.
Yeah, Kenneth Keith Kallenbach.
Yeah.
Dude, they're hard to come across.
I've been thinking I've wanted to find that forever.
Yeah.
You gotta somehow.
Oh, that's I gotta lend them to you if you ever want.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're a real blast going through a lot of shit. I was like, wow.
It's funny you talking about like the movie stuff with them, because I just wrote down a note, and I'm like, oh, I someone mentioned the other day, jogged my memory, like that those moments when you're watching a movie with your parents when you were younger, and an unexpected sex scene comes on or something, and you're like younger, and everyone's just like,
yeah,
you feel that like such like, you know, I mean, your kids probably don't feel that because you're like open about it, but I remember that feeling you have when, you know, when that comes on, everyone's just like,
it was weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was very fucking weird.
Yeah.
My parents made me watch weird shit. Oh god. Definite weird shit.
Your house was different than mine.
Everything from like watching, like all of a sudden you watch an airplane, all of a sudden you see a pair of boobs.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But actually, my dad let me watch anything because I watched Delirious as a kid.
Okay, yeah.
He had it on VHS.
John Candy, yeah.
And you know, he was just like, he just was like roll his eyes, but like it didn't really. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this language, you know.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I mean, what is, you know, I'm a comedian now, you know, like
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Weekends at like every other weekend at my dad's house was the exposure to all that stuff. And it was that was the right amount, I think, as a kid.
yeah.
Like every other weekend, you go to the house that has Playboy magazines and all the cable channels, and he's just passed out on the couch, and you take all that in, but then you go home and mom, you know, steers you the right way for the next couple of weeks. That's how I did it.
That's not bad either.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Sal, thanks for doing this, man.
Oh, God, so much fun. It was good to catch up with you guys.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's good seeing you, man. It's been
I appreciate it. Congratulations on 400, and it's going to be 20 episodes, right? It's insane that it ended on 420.
It wasn't the plan.
I know, but that's so many episodes.
It's a lot.
That's so many. I feel like I've been
Too
doing my podcast forever, and I have like 133 episodes of each. But like, congrats, man, to do it that long and stuff. You guys one day will probably maybe go back and just start from one.
We're already planning on coming back and doing things a little differently and more structured. A show that's easier to market than we're best friends and we talk about whatever we want.
Right.
You get lost in a sea of that.
Sure. Yeah.
We got some thoughts. So
yeah, we'll tinker.
I appreciate you guys asking me to come back and get back on.
Dude, it means the world that you did it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Full circle, man.
Yeah, love you guys. Congratulations.
Love
too,
you,
man.
dude. Thank you.
You got it.
Chinese. The finest soup available. Egg dump soup from eggdumpsoup.com.
Cut. Let's. One more time. Olsen, please.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
Action, Olsen, please.
The egg dump soup from
Here are this week's voicemails.
Gentlemen, it is your supreme leader calling once again. I have to vent to you boys. Let me ask you, when you go to your job, do you have to deal with some asshole dressed like a giant golden cobra calling himself Emperor trying to take your job? I don't think so. It's very, very difficult running an extra-legal paramilitary organization. I have to tell you, boys. Sorrentino, any help you can give me with the raccoons would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, man.
Anyway, you know... Oh, God damn it.
Oh, no! Cobra Commander, what happened? What happened to Cobra Commander?
That's the way to sign off.
God damn it. Cobra Commander, I'd give you all the help I could with these raccoons. John and Laura tried talking me out of it. But
You're already in. You're all in with Cobra, man.
I'm ready. I'm down. I like Cobra. I like the Dreadnoks. I told you we'd be hanging out with them. The Crimson Guard. All these guys. I love that shit.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Who am I to say otherwise,
I don't know what to tell you about the Serpentor situation. That guy sucks.
Yeah.
So Serpentor is like the ruler who's cloned from like all different rulers. He's cloned from a little bit of like Genghis Khan, a little bit of Alexander the Great. Like he's like all. You think like they like snuck a little Hitler in there? They put like all these tyrants.
They don't talk about it.
They don't talk about Hitler, but I think there would have been a little
smidge of Hitler.
Yeah, I would. I think every morning he wakes up, he has to shave that mustache off. Like it grows
maybe.
in real good.
Yeah.
But
he's painting something in his room.
I'm an artist. I wish we had bells to ring for
There's
that.
no bells to ring.
We forgot the bells.
We're in Manhattan, and there's no bells in Manhattan, as you know.
There's no bells in Manhattan. Just big apples. No bells.
Bell free.
It's a city that never rings.
There were church bells going before. Those count.
Well,
maybe if we time it, if we play a voicemail on the hour, we might get some bells.
Get like the big old church bells.
But sorry,
yeah.
Sorry, Cobra Commander. Yeah, no bells. But thanks for the call. Keep them coming, man.
Cobra!
We got a voicemail from Lil Eddie.
Yes!
Gotta sing a song.
Means we gotta sing
Get the jingle. Jingle's all the way.
Lil Eddie theme song.
Let's do it. Ooh,
leave a review and take us all to the movies. Gonna watch one movie, gonna watch two movies, gonna watch three movies and review them all for you. That's a lot of phone calls. That's a lot of big balls. That's a lot of us sitting by the phone. Little Eddie's movie reviews.
I love it. Sal is in an office, and he's just like, "Yeah, you could stay here. You're not gonna bother me." I'm just like, I got some writing to do. He's probably sitting there going like, "Oh my god, they're screaming,
why are they singing and laughing?" You know what? There's no bells.
No bells.
There's no bells.
Yeah,
we could be really annoying Sal right now.
Yeah, Sal, be thankful you don't got any bells.
Yeah, you're welcome, Sal.
Hey guys, it's Lil Eddie. I saw The Flash and I liked it. That is all. I liked it.
Oh, man.
Wow, he really
liked it.
All right.
I've been hearing mixed. I didn't see it. I did see that new Spider-Man movie. I enjoyed that.
You did?
Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse.
I'll say this. I didn't see The Flash.
Yeah, I didn't see The Flash.
I don't like it.
You know what? Somebody gave me a link to watch it for free.
Okay.
That's how I'm going to do it.
You're going to watch it okay.
I'm sorry. I don't want to pay anything towards Ezra Miller. I think Ezra Miller's a fucking asshole.
I don't think you have to apologize for that.
Okay. No, I'm saying
That's
sorry if you're a big Flash guy or a big child grooming fan or just like a complete crazy person.
Just like flashing.
Or if you just like flashing. It could be that gremlin that flashes everybody. The gremlin in the trench coat. He could be listening. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing to him.
I know you don't want to give him money. Part of me doesn't want to watch it because I love Michael Keaton Batman, and I kind of want to. There's a part of me that's like, I don't want to touch that.
Yeah, stay in stone.
It's just that's it. It exists the way it exists, and I'm sure he's great.
Mm-hmm. I heard he's the best thing about it.
Yeah, I just don't know if I want to see him on the CW like that. That's DC for me.
Oh, I heard the effects in this movie are trash. I heard it looks like a bad CG. I heard so there's two of the Flashes in this movie.
Sure.
And one of them's Ezra's stunt double. The other person is is just Ezra, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the person that's playing Ezra's stunt double has their face like digitally, like Irishman over Ezra's.
Okay.
The Flash got Irishmen. Well, Ezra's their stunt double, or their whoever's playing the second Flash is Irishman.
Okay.
And I heard it's just like laughable, flappable, palpable.
We'll see. A lot of old heroes running around this summer.
You know what? We need some new. Yeah, you got Indiana Jones. You got Ezra Miller. No, he's not anybody's hero. What's his name? Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
You got a bunch of Transformers happening right now. I wonder if Eddie saw that movie.
That might be. I hear good things about that.
I would never pay to see a Transformers movie either.
No, I would like to take my kid.
It's all garbage. It's all garbage.
All right.
That the steroid Ninja Turtles, like there was like certain era of cinema, of movies, blockbusters that just make me sick, and that's Transformers movies, it's steroid Ninja Turtles movies.
Ninja Turtles is gonna get good again. I got a good feeling about that movie.
That new one
right now.
That new one's looking really good
because they're going younger.
Yeah,
not older.
No,
see, that's the key. In case anybody in Hollywood's listening, I think if you're 70, 80 years old, maybe you don't do these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything DC.
It's over.
What has DC done in the last 10, 15, 20 years that I have to check out? I'm talking about movies.
You didn't like it. For me, it was The Batman with Rob Pattinson. I really enjoyed that movie. I'm looking forward to the second. I like that it doesn't have ties to that DC universe. The DC universe is ending after The Flash. Why would I care?
Yeah, it's a mess anyway. All right. Well, okay.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks, Eddie. I'm glad Eddie liked it.
Exactly.
And normally I say if Eddie liked it, you got to go see it. But I just,
I'm just happy he did.
I'm happy he liked it.
I don't want an upset Eddie. I don't want Eddie coming out of the theater freaking out that The Flash is bad. I'm happy for that.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy, we was at the beach. We was toying around, not really being responsible when it came to sunscreen and UV protection. So anyway, he proceeds to get a fucking sunburn all over his fucking chest tits, right? The guy's got red tits, nipples like fucking slices of pepperoni, right? Asks me if I could rub the aloe all over his tits, aloe vera. I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking do it, I guess, so I'm rubbing this here ointment all over his tits.
I finally gotta stop. I get his back,
but the front
he's asking for help. Can you put this on my tits? It's so funny.
Maybe his friend has no hands.
Yeah, that's the only excuse. If your friend has no hands.
I was hanging out with my friend the Lobster Boy.
On his tits.
Feels good, I guess, to him, because he's moaning. He's like, oh, feels good to me. I guess it feels good rubbing that salve all over his, burning chest. It's sweaty. Some fucking hair sticking out of him, So next thing you know, I'm getting a little fucking horny myself. I'm like, man, I wish I had a fucking sunburn going on here so my buddy could fucking rub me down with some of this hair ointment. I didn't really have a sunburn, but my balls started to swell. I think they call that fucking having flat balls or something, or greasy ball sauce. There's balls filling up with horniness,
No, I don't know. I've never heard anything like that.
We're hanging out at the beach at Nathan's and getting a hot dog. It's great. We shared the hot dog, of course. We each started at the end. At one end each, met in the middle. Sauerkraut.
That's the message.
Well, if your balls so filling with horniness, guys,
yeah.
Just you and your buddy get yourself a hot dog. It's the only relief.
That's all you can do.
And thank you for helping out your friend Edward Scissorhands, who obviously couldn't rub the salve on his own chest.
You're a good friend.
Yeah. Poor
Wished he had a sunburn. It's weird without bells, right?
Yeah.
I kind of want to go ding, ding, ding.
I know.
Ding,
I
ding.
wanted to be ringing bells all night.
Oh,
here,
it's
all day.
weird. Oh, God. First-time listeners, listen, there's normally a bell here.
I mean, this is probably, since we initiated the bell.
Which I don't know when the bells came in.
Oh, this is the first time we probably haven't had any bells. So the bells were originally for every time we had a drink, so you guys could drink along with us.
And understand how drunk we were.
Yes,
Because that was the thing.
exactly.
We were drinking without acknowledging it. And by the
Yeah.
end of the episode, it just sounded like we were both having strokes. So then it was like, we should ring a bell every time we
Yeah.
have a new drink.
Yeah, so it sounds like we're having strokes at Christmas.
Like, I would have rang the bell twice tonight for beers, but then it became more of the, it's like an acknowledgement bell. It's like, when you're happy, you hit the bell.
Yeah, you're laughing. Hit that bell, you know.
Very weird. But anyway, thank you. Thanks for the call, man. Oh, we got a call here from Rocco.
Oh.
Hey, fellas. Oh, shit. Who is it? It's your old pal Rocco here.
Hey, Rocco.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
Well, listen. I know I've been out for a little bit. Here's what happened. As you may or may not know, I kind of got scammed by a fake cruise.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I remember that.
Your old buddy Rocco put out a couple well-placed threats. And, the Hudson County prosecutor, he decided that old Rocco needed to spend a little time in Kearney.
Oh, no.
So I've been
Been
I've
locked
been
up?
out of the loop. And now I'm back. I'm out, and I'm waiting for all these new episodes. I'm trying to catch up. I just got a question. I didn't miss this sensitive Batman, did I?
Oh,
Ding,
my
ding, ding.
God.
Fit it where you go, shit.
Oh, thank you, Rocco.
All right. So new listeners might not know.
Oh, man. It's been a
Sensitive
long time.
Batman. There's a couple stories you always wanted to tell, and we always ran out of time. We're well over an hour into this episode.
We are.
There's no time for
I don't
stories.
think I could squeeze it in.
Maybe
I know it's
before
the end.
Maybe before the show ends, because
Maybe.
this is the last season of Super Live Venture. We have 2 episodes left after this.
All right, if I could squeeze it in, but we definitely can't tonight. We still
Not
got more
tonight.
calls. We still
No.
got more voicemails to
But
get
thank you
through.
for the reminder, Rocco. It's been a long time since anybody's brought up.
Yeah, so Sensitive Batman, Fittler and Littler,
Oh yeah,
and Boobies in the Bathroom.
boobies in the
Those are the 3 stories.
bathroom or bathtub. What was it?
Bathroom.
Bathroom. I don't even know. I don't know what the stories are.
I know them. I just can't get to them right now.
Maybe you got 2 episodes to tell everybody.
All right, fingers crossed.
Listeners have been asking for a long time, and I think you should.
I mean, the new Flash movie, you got Batman. It is topical. I just can't do it right now. All right, moving on.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's Little Eddie, and I just watched The Blackening. I did not like it. That is all.
I don't know much about it. But a lot of people, the Proud Boys are against it. My parents are
Really?
against it.
All
And I guess Lenny's against it.
all I know about the blackening, I only know one thing.
I don't know anything about it.
Proud Eddie. I can. I can. The only thing I know.
That's a jingle. Proud Eddie.
Proud Eddie, keep on pointing. Those movies keep on toining. Munching on some popcorn.
R.I.P.
I saw R.I.P. The legend.
Best legs in the biz.
The legs in a wig.
Legs in a wig. That's what she was.
She's great that time with singing at Jabba's Palace. They cut her out. They did. She's gone. You know what I just found out recently? I didn't know. So John Williams' son is the singer from Toto, and he like wrote Lopty Neck and Yub Nub.
No.
I think he wrote the lyrics. I don't know if he wrote all the music.
Was he a toddler when he wrote it? Like,
no, Toto sang Africa in like 84.
oh,
He was an
okay.
adult. John Williams is like 105.
I don't know. It's just Lofty Neck. It sounds like something you'd have like a kid write.
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars. My kids could write Star
Your
Wars music right
kids
now.
should be writing Star Wars music.
Yeah, they should.
But the only thing I know about the blackening is I remember seeing something. I forgot what it was, and they had a poster up, and it's a movie poster of several actors of color, and it says, "This is the blackening. Not all of us can die first."
That's what it says?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you know, the old trope, like the black character is the first one to die in a horror movie.
Yeah, not all of us can. Okay.
You're like, we're all black.
Oh,
Not all of us are going to be the first ones.
So who knows?
I don't know. That's all I know about the blackening.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I give it a shot.
I'd see it before I see The Flash.
Yeah, I would see it before I saw the Flash.
I would.
Oh, man.
That's where I'm at.
Cross them over. Like a black Flash running around.
I don't know if we picked up. There was some church bells there. Did you hear that?
Oh.
I don't know if it made it through.
I don't know, but hey, those were ringing just for the blackening.
I feel like it's not okay for me to say the blackening.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
The whole thing, it makes me uneasy.
All of it. Like if I'm in a restaurant, you order like blackened chicken. You're like, oh.
Oh, that makes you a little...
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Blackened anything.
My kid, I don't know if I should say this. We didn't mean anything by it.
Okay.
There was a PBS show he was watching, and they went back in time, and they were like showing like black historical figures that were up against, you know, racism in this country and everything else. And he's learned a bit about that.
Was this recent or was this like in February?
This happened a couple days ago.
All right, because it's usually rare to get that type of stuff outside of February.
This was an episode where they travel back in time to the Olympics and
okay, yeah.
So anyway, he's watching this episode, and then my kid is just like, he's like, Dad, they go back in time to when people with brown skin people were mean to them. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, people are still like that today. Yeah. Like it's gotten better, but as long as you know. And he goes, yeah, no, I know. And he goes, I'm just glad that I have this color skin. That's what he said. And I was just like, well, I was like, everybody's the same. He goes, no, I know. I just think this is what I wanted, and I'm glad I got it. That's what he said. And I was like,
Wow.
But at the same time, I'm also like, yeah, it's shitty. But he's looking at that and he's going like, this is wrong. This sucks. I'm so glad I'm white. That's how he was watching.
Jesus. The best response is, I'm glad you are too. Otherwise, I would have killed your mother in the fucking delivery room. You don't know how close she was to dying.
To be chasing OJ out of the room. We all forget Norberg, man. That's what at the end of the day.
It's the end of the day.
He fucked Frank Drummond's wife.
Nordberg!
No, we can't just assume it was him. Do you think he did? Let's take that at what it's at. Was it? Did OJ do it?
Did OJ do it? You know what, John? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, I think he did. I totally think he did. I think OJ did it.
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
Hi, you guys. I heard you talking about my Jimmy arm. Yeah, it's still on my arm. It hasn't moved. They haven't taken it off.
It's Jimmy.
It's kind of weird. Okay. Bye now.
That's a deep cut callback to the Professor Ralph.
With the penis on his arm?
Yeah, Jimmy with the Jimmy on his arm. The guy with the penis on his arm.
They haven't taken it off. It's kind of weird. That's what he called about.
It's still there. Thanks for the update, Jimmy.
That was one of my favorite, just going down through that news story, man. The guy who had a penis growing on his arm for a transplant situation. Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what episode that is. Was it Professor Ralph, Dr. Ralph?
Yeah, Professor Ralph something.
Oh, yeah, Professor Ralph and the Jimmy arm, maybe. I don't know, something like that.
Well, an old episode, if you want to go back.
Yeah.
If it's even in season 2, 3, or 4, I don't know. If it's season 1, you got to go to Patreon.
No, it's not season 1. It was Pandemics. I remember we recorded that sitting outside of the porch.
Oh, okay.
This was right after Pandemic.
Okay.
Thank you for calling in, Jimmy. I'm glad to hear you've lost your English accent.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. It's not all bad.
No. Good. Thank you for assimilating. One of us. One of us. One of
us. Thank you, callers. We only have 2 shows left. I can tell you this right now. The next episode is going to be Chris Vert.
Yeah.
A favorite.
Yeah.
A Christmas time favorite.
All year favorite.
He tends to do Christmas time, but he and I texted each other at the exact same time. I don't know if you realized that because you caught up with it later. I asked him to be on the podcast because we were ending it, and he asked to be on the podcast because we were ending it, and we texted each other at the exact same moment.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
I don't want to tell you the text I get from Christopher. It's Happy Mothers, you big cream job. You big cream job milk pussy mommy. I want your big stupid mouth all over my little boy pussy and to slurp up my sticky Japanese pussy pube juice. That's
well, if you want to
text me on Mother's Day.
If you want to call into the show, 781-POD-SLAP, that's 781-763-7527. Leave us a message. We only have one more episode left to record. That last episode, I think, is just going to be you and me.
Yeah, it should be.
2 of us, a house show. We've been asked, are we going to do a big finale, a big live thing? You know, we did our live 420 show. Mm-hmm. That was a blast.
That was.
We think we're just going to close it out nice and quiet.
We
you
just
and
had
me.
Our big guest on. That's
right.
You know, we're running the paces. You know, we just had Laura on. You can't end the Super Live Adventure without Laura popping back in.
Yeah. But it'll end with the 2 of us.
As it should.
Episode 20 of season 4. I do want to say, because Sal was on this episode, so somebody might be listening for the first time. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm assuming if you're listening.
Now get out!
You're an Impractical Jokers fan. If you want to go back, we just had John Ascrabus, who was a writer on Impractical Jokers with me.
Episode.
Check out that episode. John is going to be performing with us, along with Joe Imbergio, and James McCarthy is going to be joining us for one of these, the head writer on Impractical Jokers.
I love McCarthy.
We have 2 live shows coming up in August in New Jersey, August 13th and August 30th. So August 13th, we are doing Impractical Jokers Sweet Treats. That's what Q calls us, man. It's the people behind the scenes on Impractical Jokers doing a comedy show. 9 o'clock, August 13th at Harbor Square Theater. And then again, August 30th at 8:30 in Ventnor Square Theater. Details, we'll put a link in the description. You can also go to johnsaluga.com and click on the events because we'll be doing that. We might even be adding shows after we record this, so check that out.
Guys, come see us. Come see the show. It's a fun time, especially if you love IJ.
Yeah, it's a funny group, and it's a lot of behind-the-scenes stories and things like that from the show. So absolutely check that out. We hope you'll come see us. And again, keep the calls coming until the very end, 781-763-7527.
That's right. Real quick, I just want to plug, I was recently on the Dan and Ian Have Questions podcast. You can hear that everywhere. And then I was back with my buddies Galaxy of Film talking about some Indiana Jones movies. You could hear that anywhere you hear podcasts. Go check those guys out. All great shows.
Nice.
I had a blast on them.
Yeah. And Sal Vulcano, what does he need from us? Nothing.
No, yeah, he's,
Yeah.
He's got his feet on
He's
the
okay.
ground.
He's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Whatever. Check him out if you want. Google Sal.
Just Google Sal.
When you can
That's
Google
it.
Sal without a last name and get the results you want, he's doing okay.
There's really
You Google John and Chris. Yeah.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah. So fuck him. Help us. No, it was awesome hanging out. It was awesome hanging out with him, and it was cool. It really did come full circle. He was one of the first guests.
Yeah, and I can't. The peeing on him never got brought up, but I'm happy about that.
I get that you're happy about it. I wouldn't have. I personally wouldn't mind talking to him about it because I never have, but.
Never have peed on him, or never
talked to him about it. You guys are That's a very intimate thing you shared. You
Yeah, we have
just kind of like, oh hey, what's up?
Yeah, I peed on
I
him.
pissed on you. Did he look at your dick?
Probably.
I don't know. See, that's a question.
Oh yeah, I should have.
You want to ask him that before we leave? Just knock on the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry to disturb you while you're working, Sal, Mr. Vulcano. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. What's up?
When you looked down at my dick, how'd it look to you?
I loved it.
All right.
Hey! All right, everybody. Well, it's been an episode. Thank you, Sal.
That's it. Thank you. Now I could sleep at night. I've been wondering for 3 years. 4 years.
You finally got an answer.
What my if he saw my prick and what it looked like.
Yeah, I'm half tempted to knock on the door. The man's working.
Yeah.
But it's goofs and it's jokes and silly
practical joking.
It's silly things.
Yeah. Yeah, you walk in there's a bunch of rubber chickens. Fucking snakes popping out of peanut.
Let's leave them alone.
Jars.
I need the work. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. For serious, man. You guys are the best. You guys are the fucking heart and soul and the blood that keeps the show pumping. And
Absolutely.
We love you every episode. And check out the Patreon as well.
That's right. Until next time.
Fit it
where you shit it.